So good morning. I'm Mark with Nashville Aikido. I'm a student instructor here, and my job today is to instruct you on a few things about Aikido so you'll be more comfortable coming in, getting to know us, training with us, and that kind of thing. One of the questions that comes up often is, what about these weapons? So we have racks of weapons on the walls, and I wanted to give you a little insight on that and how we approach weapons. One of the main reasons we use weapons in the dojo is because that Aikido techniques and the way we move and the way we train comes directly off the battlefield when the samurai were using swords, katana. Knives, other things like that augment our training as well. Now, I will say, and this is very important, nobody, at least in our school, is qualified to teach you to be a master swords person or a master person with the Jo staff. But that being said, we do use weapons, and about 20-25% of our training is actually going to be with weapon in hand. We learn how to take weapons away, we learn how to do paired practice with weapons, and all of that has a purpose. The purpose is to never forget where the origin of the Aikido techniques come from. We always want to keep that foremost in our mind. But also, when you have a weapon in hand, it changes the space and the distance that you're working with. It also changes the speed, and you have to be able to vary that in your own training because when you broaden your experience, it means that your fine-tuning becomes more robust when you come to martial situations and your training. So a little bit about the weapons. This is a wooden tanto. It is basically analog for a knife that you might see on the street somewhere. This is a Jo staff, and this is an interesting implement to me because the way I understand it is like if you were a farmer somewhere in feudal Japan and all these guys come over the hill after you with swords and metal armor and everything, you might snap off the end of your farming implement and have to defend yourself with that. So we use Jo. This is the bokken. And bokken is a wooden analog for a katana, and we use these quite a lot as well. And when we want to go a little faster, or maybe there might be the threat of actually hitting someone, since a wooden weapon can kill you, we use this. This is split bamboo, and it's covered in leather, and we call this shinai. So we can go a little faster and put a little bit more emphasis into it there. So that's really one of the things that we do here in the dojo. Again, not to forget tradition, because Aikido techniques come from the Japanese battlefield, jujitsus, that kind of thing. Weapons were in hand, or maybe you lost your weapon and you have to take someone else's weapon. So all those things are things that we study here. Also, when we're training in weapons, it changes the distance, it changes the speed, so your breadth of knowledge becomes wider, and you learn how to move more efficiently in those ways. And as well, we train about 20-25% with weapons in hand. Otherwise, it's open hand techniques that derive from the weapons that we use. Plus, they look really cool on the wall as well. Come join us. Nashville Aikido. I'm Mark.